Hello, everyone. I'm coming in live today. I have a special guest who's going to join me. And I want to share specifically, this has been a big topic for me lately about relationships. And when it comes to awakening, becoming a more conscious person, living your life more in the alignment with the soul, we really do feel that desire to be connected at a deep level with other people and to have our partner. And it doesn't necessarily mean everybody has like this one partner and this one magical soulmate. Many of us do really like have a person we fit with that we want to share our lives on a deep, intimate level with. But however you've chosen in your lifestyle to have your intimate relationships, it's really, really part of our ultimate health and well-being to have deep, connected, loving, intimate relationships. And so Alana Pratt is a friend of mine who is such a beautiful soul. And we connected a few years back. I think she interviewed me and then I interviewed her on my channel because we had so much synergy, and her work is all about that level of intimate partnership and that level of intimate communion. And I have so many things to share on this because when I met my now partner, and I had like a lot of drama before that, it really was exactly what she's teaching, like becoming the one. I am my best friend. I am the one who loves myself fully. I am that which I'm seeking is exactly what invited in that relationship with my now husband that was really a match for what I actually wanted. So I'm going to bring Alana on. She's here right now to share about what she's found with this work and her new program, Becoming the One. If we can get Alana in here. All right. Are you here? Yes. All right, Alana. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, it's so good to see you. Every time I see you, I get both, it's kind of like roots and shoots. I get like excited, but I get grounded. And thank you for having me with you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited to share like what you're doing, just having my community hear you speak, but also like hear what you've been offering that you've been sharing with people to not only like connect with their person, which is such a huge heart's desire for so many of us, but just to be in love with
Yeah.
yourself so that you are always in connection with divinity and always in that harmonious space of love. And then that's what really allows the manifestation in so many other areas of our life. So yeah, share what you came to share on this.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you. Well, first, yeah, I just love the angel behind you. And I was out paddleboarding this morning. I'm staying right on a lake in South Carolina. And there was this moment, Kim, and I was thinking about coming on today, and it was really still. There's like blue herons, white egrets, and then all of a sudden a breeze came. And I was like, in this moment, I could go to my head. I go, okay, got to get back, got to have breakfast, got to do, or I could, or I could let life make love to me in this moment. And it was just like shivers with the breeze against my body. And this is like a tiny piece of what I mean when we slow down and we get out of the head and we do I call it like integration or processing of those wounds that we haven't slowed down to heal so that we can drop in even farther into our belly, into our hips, that grounded presence, that grounded vortex that, as you said, you had to put effort in, like you had to show up, but you didn't have to work at it to go find your beloved. The universe is now conspiring with your frequency to bring you love, also ideal clients, also mind, body, health, the whole thing. And so that was my taste of, I get to love being on with Kim this morning, and I get to be made love to by the universe all at once. And this is our birthright, and I call it Become the One, because I don't know if any of the people that are watching right now know me from the past with our interviews and such, but I was trying to find the one. That's what I was doing. I was sure that I would be enough, good enough, worthy, deserving, all the things when I found the one. Well, marriage number one, divorce number one, marriage number two, divorce number two. Like last boyfriend when we first met was like criminal assault. And I'm like, what is going on? I can help all these people find the one, but I couldn't. And so it was a very humbling moment of going, okay, there's even deeper, like somatic healing work to do. And it's all about blind spots. So many of us that do this work, we're clever. I'm like, you're super smart. You're a doctor. I'm an Ivy League grad. Like, if the brain could figure it out, none of us would be dealing with any of these issues. It's the wisdom of the body. And our emotions aren't bad. They're a portal home. They're a guidepost home of what we need to integrate. And then with science, we can't destroy or create energy. We can just change it. So that fear that lives inside, that shame that lives inside, that pain or that anger or that self-hatred or that sorrow, whatever it is inside, we can't get rid of it. But we can, like with alchemy, we can change it into confidence, receptivity, courage, surrender, radiance, the truth of who we really are. And that is actually, in my opinion, the energy that attracts your ideal person, your ideal client, your ideal health and well-being. And it's really about slowing down and feeling.
I love the radiance part because that's obviously like an attractor factor for like everything in your life that your heart is asking for. And I did the exact same thing. I was trying to like attract the one, and I realized it was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to focus on myself so I can get the one. I'm going to love myself. Where's my guy? Okay, I'm
Right.
loving myself. Where's my guy? And I had to start to realize, that I'm the cake. I'm looking for the cake, and but it's like, no,
Right
I
here.
have to be the cake.
Yeah.
And then my life was the cake, and then this is like the frosting, and it's really good frosting, cherries, every sprinkles, like super super nice sprinkles. But like whenever I would make that person my cake, I just feel empty
Yeah.
inside. Or if things would go wrong, or if they had a bad day, like I would feel empty. And that was what life was trying to show me, was like,
Mhm.
you're the cake, Kim. You got to
Yeah.
let this go. And to the point where like I so much fell in love with myself
Yeah.
that it was like, do I even want a partner? Do I even care? Like maybe I don't even want that, because I was like in love with everybody. And I love that you said, let life make love to me, because that's really it's so hard for us to let go enough, that like life is making love to me in this moment,
Yeah.
versus I'm using this moment to get somewhere, or I'm
Right.
using this moment to get something. And that actually repels everything that we want.
Totally.
So share, I mean, you always have that radiance, that I think that's why we like had such a synergy. So what has been, what happened for you with igniting that?
Hmm. Well, a lot of things. Everywhere that my mind, my fear-based identity was trying to do this in order to get that, all the structures that I'd created based on that lie, based on fear, fell away. And so as I began to do the work, initially it looked like things were getting worse. Clients left, businesses left, men left, all these things left. But what I realized was those were all false. Those were all things my ego was clinging to desperately to try to be enough. And I had to learn to, instead of cling, I had to learn to let go. And as I let go, I went inside and I met the parts of me that initially I didn't want to meet: the ashamed part, the self-loathing part, the wake up at 3 a.m., what's wrong with me part, all of these parts. And I learned, I mean, it's like, you gotta love yourself. Like, what does that really mean? I sat with, I have many different processes, but one of them is called little you. And I sat with little you, humiliated, scared. What if no one ever chooses me? What if I die alone? Little you. And I said to her, I will not leave you. I will not come in to be with you, to change you and fix you. So we'll finally be enough. Like, I'm locking the door. I'm throwing away the key, and I will sit with you for eternity. I will sit with you forever. And that's enough. And something happened when I did that. All of the striving dissolved. This oneness with myself occurred. This Shazam moment of oneness with the divine occurred. And I felt like I was being penetrated by light. I was light penetrating the world. There was no edges between me and the divine. I was embodied light. Now, I lose that from time to time. I still get freaked out or what have you. I'm a human. But that's my come home point. That's one of I have these Alana Prep method processes that I teach. That's one of the processes that's my signature one, because until we're home, this sense of wholeness this sense of enoughness. Like you said, I'm the cake, this sense of being enough. We keep striving. And as you brilliantly and accurately said, we're going to push it away. It's just a matter of time. If we're still trying to, when you first start dating someone in the morning, you're like, oh crap, my breath. Oh God, they see me with no makeup. God, I just farted. Like all those things that happen for the first time when you're with somebody, like, oh God, can I really be myself? Right? We still contract that radiance a little bit in order to not be rejected. And yet on the other side of this, when we become the one, not that we go around farting on purpose in people's faces, but we have a freedom to be, and we drop into our hips, and it's like a vortex of attractiveness of people coming to want to be with us because we're safe with us, so then they're safe with us, and then deep intimacy really starts to occur, exquisite vulnerability, like you're the one people come to with their deep dark secrets because they know you won't judge them because you've cultivated the capacity not to judge yourself. And that is priceless to be home in yourself, to sleep at night, not to need that extra glass of wine or avoidance on social media just to get through the day. You're home. It feels good to be alive. And oh, by the way, the result of that is you attract incredible humans into your life. And it's not like I don't show up and go to work every day, but I used to be afraid about, example, money. I used to be afraid about money every day. How am I going to pay the clients? Where's the next client's going to come from? How do I pay my staff? It was just like nonstop. There was this hyper vigilant running, like, I got to put out the fire. I got to put out the fire, even though I had a happy face on, even though metaphysically I knew I was making a difference. I had a good attitude. Still, the hips, the belly were like still crunched in this fear. Well, that's now released as well. And while I still put one foot in front of the other and I do my work, I'm held by the divine. There's the knowing. It's all good. It's already all worked out. Just keep showing up. That's a freedom. That's our masculine freedom and our feminine expression. That's all of our energies inside get to be fully yin yang Shiva Shakti inside of ourselves. And then that kind of union begins to occur on the outside. And what it requires: bravery, humility, slowing down, and someone of impeccable presence, tender presence, and badass, I will never drop you presence to let go. And I feel like, Kim, that's why my life has been such a shit show. Is that you can basically tell me any story. I've probably been there 3 times. What? You only spent, 100,000 on your divorce? I spent 250,000. What? You didn't lose one company? I lost 3. Like I think that's why it happened, so that I'm safe and relatable. Because you're going to need a partner to heal. This is something I've also learned on my journey. Trauma occurs in relationship. We don't just sit around staring at a wall and get trauma, okay? Trauma occurs in relationship. Healing occurs in relationship. And so often we go back into relationships again. We don't do the work after a divorce or a breakup. And we think, from a wounds attract wounds. We think that the wound is going to attract health. No, that's batshit crazy. We have to go to a trusted advisor, mentor, tender, holding you, healing partnership to heal and go. Our autonomic nervous system can come back to 0 and go, oh, that's what safe presence feels like. That's what honor and respect feels like. That's what being cherished feels like in my body. Okay, I know that. Now I'm going to go out there again, dating in wholeness with myself, having practiced with an advisor, and have success, soulful success.
There's someone has commented about I love following you, and I love the
Oh,
things you've posted.
oh,
It's such a journey.
thank you,
Um,
loving.
yeah, I've mostly done it alone, and I'm proud of how far I've come. My
Yes,
husband ignores this, no support. And I wanted to bring up that particular comment because a lot of people in my community, a lot of people have been like in a relationship, but then as they've accelerated in their own awakening, it's like, oh, he's not coming with me. So they're either like trying to pull their partner with them, or kind of dismissing like, well, he's never going to go there. And then they cut that off. And I know that what you're speaking to, it's not just for people that are wanting to attract a new relationship. It's very much for people also who want to attract in their current relationship a real
Yeah.
partnership where
Yeah.
he is going, where you're going. So
Yeah.
will you speak to that as well? Because I know that's just such a heartache for so many people that they kind of feel like either they've resigned themselves to say
Yeah.
like, oh, that's never going to happen, or they're in this tug of war where they're trying to pull the person rather than become the one
Mm.
and allow that to unfold.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I have an upcoming course, and I also want to give people the intro course here at the gift, no charge, with a coupon that Dr. Kim will give you. So when I work with people, single or in relationship, the idea is the same. So we've already talked about the being the single and how that's a vortex. When we're in a relationship and we're still, and it can only be like 1% attached, that they come along. That's enough for that other person to feel those tendrils of judgment. You're not okay. You'll be okay when, right?
Yes.
And so when we can, and sometimes it's very small because this sounds like this person has been doing the work. It could be like 1 degree difference is 211 or 212. Water, steam, right? It's only 1 degree. So it can be very small. But when we do this work, and this would be for this person about surrender, like, can you be in total allowance of whether they come along or don't? Can you give them complete spaciousness and see them through the eyes of the divine, not see them through the eyes of, I'll be happy when they change, or why don't they change? Any sense of this judgment. If we can completely surrender and allow them to be who they are, whether they step up or whether they step aside, while simultaneously seeing them through the eyes of the divine, seeing their capacity, seeing the light that they are, seeing their glory, that little bit of a tendril of control, we release it. And now they have a chance to step up and come towards you. So it's very subtle. You might be noticing, why didn't you? How could you? Zip it, and be in gratitude and invitation, and sit in the fire and let go of attachment and be in allowance of whether they do or whether they don't. I'm literally working with, well, I work with a lot of different couples, but one couple right now, they've been doing the work for about 8 months. Massive transformation. But he's still revealed to me, I'm not sure if she's going to follow through, if she's going to make it, if it's just like, just do it for a little bit, but then
Yeah.
after a while, will it really stick? And one of the processes that's the most amazing of all my different Alana Pratt method processes is we face worst case scenario and best case scenario. And we do so on either side of our awareness. We go over to the dark side, worst case scenario, image, the thought, the emotion, and the body sensation of she never does. She never steps up. And he chooses to bless and release her. And we feel that to the core. Take a breath. Then we go to best case scenario. She does. She steps up. It's everything you've ever wanted. We go back and forth 3 times. And then we feel them both simultaneously from the root to the crown. And we let them merge into the present moment. And then we become complete allowance. She feels that because she feels his little tendrils. Are you changing? Are you going to change? Are we going to make it? Like every time he walks in the room, she feels it and she's on guard. Well, now she's not on guard. There's freedom. There's spaciousness. He's noticing all the things about her that she's always wanted. She is having breakthroughs. He's just in tears, like, oh my God, my beloved is like a goddess in front of me. What he never thought was possible, because we had to go in and feel the unfeelable all the way through to the other side. And it's exquisite to watch these transformations. And you got to do the work. You can't just hope, right? You can't just read a book. And as amazing as listening to us on IG Live is, we gotta go deep. It's kind of like a fly. It's so funny. A fly against the window. It's just hitting his head against the window. Got to get out the window. And you're like, dude, just pull back. The door's open, right? And so we need to do the same. Pull back. Another way of saying go in. Another way of saying slow down. Another way of saying feel the hard stuff. And it's not forever. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, it'll be nasty, but then it'll pass. And on the other side will be this embodiment of a capacity to be allowance itself, which is the greatest gift you could ever give anyone. Who wants to be judged and fixed and changed? But total allowance while seeing the other as the divine, it's the greatest gift you could give yourself and give your partner.
Well, I'm gonna do this. It's the free course that you have, and we'll share
Mm.
the link here, and then you can use the code Mind Body to get the get the course for free. Because as you're talking, like there have been a lot of big things coming up for me lately,
Yeah,
and I can feel it's like this deeper, kind of like old stuff from when I was very young that's
yeah,
getting triggered by circumstances in my life, and not so much by my relationship right now anyway, but like by stuff happening in my life. And one of the big things for me is like being willing to open in my relationship with my guy to that deeper level, as opposed to like I usually just kind of manage it on my own. I'm like, let me just get to the core of this. And then I come back into that connection. And I can see like it's so important to bring it into the relationship.
yeah,
And that is like, it's like the hardest thing for me. It's really like touches on a deep space that like, oh, is there even enough tenderness in the universe for this to open?
yeah.
So I think this is going to be really nurturing
Um,
for me as well, because
good.
it's just so big and so painful. And like I was saying, like all the tenderness in the universe, it's not enough because it's still, this part is so hurt
Yeah,
that
yeah,
opening just like it's like unthinkable.
yeah. Oh, sister, I so appreciate your vulnerability, and I so hear you. I don't know if you're like me, but I coach a lot of people, but I also get coached. I also want to be sure that I'm in balance and someone's seeing my blind spots. So I have a certain practitioner, and we were doing a session, and my wounds are around the masculine, and he's a man, and he was on Zoom, and we were going through this thing, and I'm like, I feel like I have to rush through. I have to like get through the process faster. I'm sure if I don't, you're going to leave me. And as I said that, we were on Zoom. Zoom glitched, and there was silence. And I was like, he doesn't love me. He's gonna leave me. And then I had, okay, then I'm gonna allow my inner masculine to wait for eternity for me. And I dropped in on my own, shed some tears, dropped in. I went, I will wait forever. And as soon as that happened, he's like, the glitch stopped. He goes, I'll be here forever. It is my honor. Yeah, it's my, I love to worship you in presence. Like, and I was just like, wow, it's kind of crazy because I gave it to me rather than seeking it from him. And then instantly the universe gave it to me. And then I saw in my mind's eye my great grandfather. My grandfather died before I was born, but my great grandfather was there, and he was Welsh, and he would play Go Fish with me, and he'd always let me win with playing cards, and his eyes would sparkle, and there was like this grandfather energy, my practitioner energy, and my energy, and I was like a trinity. It was all good. And this, I'm sure there's more and more to go, but there was another clunk, another resting, another opening, another letting go, and I don't think we ever get there, but I know that depth is possible for you, for me, and for everyone watching.
Mhm. Thank you. I love
Yeah.
that experience. That's really beautiful.
Let's should try and not,
I
sister.
know, it's so powerful.
I wanted to put in the I'll put in the chat for people what the link is to
Yeah.
go have. This is my intro course, Become the One. It's normally $57. It's a 3 video intro course, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So you'll spend an hour with me. And we'll go deep together. And then your code, so you have it for free, is Kim's code, mind body, all one word, mind body. And it allows you to have it complimentary so that you can get a taste of getting out of the head into the heart and dropping into the hips. That will allow you to become the one. And then I say from there, that's what actually allows you to find the one or awaken the one you're with. And I have a lot of different offerings that I partner with people as their mentor, their sister, their their partner as they go on this journey. That's right, mind body. So that when the trauma occurs in relationship, the healing occurs in relationship, and then you're able to be more in your all of the relationships that really matter in your life.
It's funny you're talking about the hip so much because so this latest upheaval of really deep stuff that's been coming up started with this like low back pain and a lot of tightness in the hips, like so much tightness in the hips. And it's just having me kind of realize right now, whatever is this next thing coming through my next expansion,
Mm,
like I really need to make space in my body to open
mm,
in my hips and
yeah,
like beyond whatever opening has happened before. And you know, it's funny as I'm saying this, it's
mhm,
like, it's so obvious because I just had surgery on my pelvis. It was like 5 weeks
oh,
ago.
wow.
And we had the follow up with the surgeon last week. And, um, then you can like start having sex again and you can have, your full function of your pelvis and whatever.
Mm,
And I didn't even put it together until just now, but
mm,
like this has been a new foundation for me in many ways, like relationship, money, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my business. Like my whole team has completely all new
oh,
team over the last year, like a
yep,
lot of major foundational things.
yep.
And then this surgery came in as an option, and I was like, hallelujah, what a miracle. And
Mm,
now it's like, oh wait, now you're gonna be like in this foundation to a whole new degree. So I think it's not it's not coincidence that right
yeah.
now is like asking me to open in the hips and let something new in.
Oh, I love this. It's all coming together. For me, when I was more in my fearful place, my hips were very masculine, directional, this way, transactional, directional. And I'm a huge paddleboarder. But when I paddleboard, they're still, feet on the board still. And I had all this tightness around the sides of my hips when I would make circles, figure eights and circles. And my feminine was afraid to take up space, afraid to move forward. And my masculine was going to protect and take care of us, right? But they were out of balance inside of my being. And so another potential process, I just love imagery and I'm very theatrical. So I like when the king and the queen can talk in the hips and literally allow those energies. Because to me, it's not about being sexy enough to get the one or any like look how accomplished I have to be or all these one-sided things. It's really to me a communion on the inside allows for a communion on the outside. And when I, for example, talked to my king and queen in my hips, she felt abandoned because off he was working
Oh
all the time.
my
And then
God.
he felt pissed because he's like, well, where's your light? Where's your inspiration? Where have you been? I have to work so hard because we're not a team. And so they were having a bit of a tiff. And then they both just apologized. They both just owned it. And they both got in each other's point of view. Well, from your point of view, I get that you'd think I abandoned you. I'm so sorry. And then, oh, I get from your point of view, you would feel abandoned because I was out working all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And they come back together and they go, well, what could I do differently? What do you need? How can I share my best to you? And then when that union occurs on the inside, we then behaviorally can be different in our lives. And maybe it is. I know for me, I rarely ask for help because if I asked for help, I could risk being rejected.
Yeah.
I could risk being thought that, well, you're stupid. Why don't you know? Like all these risks. So I just won't ask for help. I'll just do it myself. But that makes
Yeah,
my
and it's such a
masculine out of
win to
balance.
be capable. Like for me, such a win to be capable is so much bigger that asking for help like negates that win. And it's like, oh my God, it's driving me crazy. But that was a big one for me. It was like that win of being, I don't know, self-sufficient or capable was so big that then I didn't want to let that go.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful stage and we need that stage and we want to value and honor that stage because it's sure as shit better than being a victim, right?
Yeah.
It's on the way, but it's not the end goal. It's a step on the way into more of a receptive queen who allows for a more balanced king to have more ease and grace in manifestation, giving, and in receiving.
Can we do this in the mini course?
Uh, I think I probably talk a little bit about it, but I talk about getting out of the head, forgiveness in the heart, learning to trust yourself again, and that will help with asking, yes. And then I'm here for all the other things that all my processes will take you through, all the
Awesome.
way back to making love with life, allowing that into your hips now, letting life make love to you, and shining your beautiful radiance, you penetrating the world with your glory too. It gets to
Yeah.
go both ways. Well, every time I
Thanks.
talk to you, I'm like, why don't we like live in the same place and like hang out all the time? Because you're so cool.
Come to Durango.
Durango, Durango. Oh, wow. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you so, so much. Please reach out anytime you need anything,
I
sister.
will.
I'm here.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. it's an emotional moment for me, and I'm glad that we had this morning. So
Mm.
I put the link for everybody, and I'm gonna register, and I'm very excited to like dig in, even though I'm like, oh, I don't have time, I can't add one more thing. It's like, oh yeah, right. This is like so foundational for me that I think
Mm.
that's part of my old thing of, like you said, the masculine is so busy kind of staying on course versus like, no, what we really need to let in changes the whole trajectory. So
Yeah.
I'm going
I
to,
find less is the more I do this work, less is more. I think I have to do so much in order to, right? It's that in order to get a result. But when we're in that aligned place within and things are healed, we actually raise in vibration. We actually raise in dimension. When you manifest in 3D, it's a very different experience than receiving in 5, 6, 7D. It's a totally different way of having. And so until we let go of the 3D, it's like cause effect. I've got to in order to. When we let go of that and do this deeper integration work and we clunk in, we actually rise in dimension where past, present, and future is all at the same time. And it's more about receiving than it is about going to get anything. And so less is more. And so
yeah.
we want to spend our time doing what nurtures that resonance and the rising of a dimension. And then we want to have the worth to receive it being so much easier than it ever has before and allowing that in. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your courage to embody that. That takes
Mm.
a lot because we don't want to slow down. There's fear, there's rejection, and like those patterns, especially as like a woman who maybe your nature is more in the feminine, but then you overpower that by like staying in your masculine so much that I mean, I've seen this for so many women, and then we don't really have the relationships we want because we're not in our own feminine energy to the degree of what's balanced for us, because we're protecting ourselves. So I'm really excited to drop into this work and to be inviting my community to this.
Thank you so
So
much.
again, it's alanapratt.com/, become intro.
Yeah,
And
I put it
then,
in there. Hmm.
yeah, I did too.
Good.
And then you can use the code mind body and you'll
Yeah,
have this part of the course for free. So thank
great.
you. And I really look forward to connecting anytime. I'm glad we could do
I
this
know,
for
me
your
too. Thanks for getting up
launches.
early.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
the best.
All right. I love you
Um,
so much.
love
I
you
wish you
too,
the best and
sister.
thank you.
Same, same. Huge love. Mwah. Bye to
Bye.
all.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody who's listening and listening to the recording. Thank you guys for being here. And I think the takeaway is just, be willing to drop in and make space for your foundation and really establishing a foundation of receptivity. Because we're all done with fight or flight survival, fear-based foundation.
Yeah.
Goodbye, fear. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything I learned through that path. And we're ready for a new foundation. So I know this resource will greatly assist that. All right. Love you guys so much. Bye.